All right, so we're looking at this worksheet. This is the new stuff we started Friday. Y'all make sure your phones are up and off your desk, please. All right, so you know enough to do problems 1 through 11. I'm going to have to help you on 12 and 13. All right, so number 1, we did these on Friday like I just said. What do you do if the logs are exactly the same? You mark them out and then just bring down 12x minus 4 equals 7x plus 61. You guys solve that, get an answer, and after you get an answer, remember, we're going to have to, you're going to have to check every problem. Other side. Solving this one's pretty easy. I got 5x equals 65. Somebody divide that for me, please, on number 1. 13 is the answer. All right, so I said you have to check every problem. What do I mean by that? Let me show you. If you take 13 and plug it right here, that would be 12 times 13 minus 4. Somebody plug that in and see what you get. 12 times 13 minus 4 is 152. All right, as long as it's a positive number, guys, it's good, it works. It just can't be a 0 or a negative number. So that works, it's going to work there, that answer is good. What if you mark out the 13 because it doesn't work and you don't have any answers left? There's no solution. All right, good. All right, so number 1 should be a very easy one. All right, now let's look at number 2. I'll mark out my log base 12s. I bring down x squared plus 20 equals 69. All right, what next? What's next? Take plus 20 over, make it a minus 20. That gives me x squared equals 49. Next step. Yeah, take the square root. And you guys always forget this.
Positive and negative.
There you go. It's plus or minus, so it's got to be x equals positive 7 and negative 7. And you got to check them both. All right, so when I plug in 7 right here, 7 squared is 49, add 20, 69. That one works. Most of you think the negative is going to get thrown out. But look, if I take negative 7 and I plug it in right here, if you square negative 7, you're going to get positive 49. Remember, it's got to be negative 7 inside parentheses squared, right? So anytime you square something, guys, it changes. It turns into a positive. So I had a negative, but when I plugged it in, it turned into a positive, so it actually works also. Both answers work on that problem. All right, number 3, we mark out our logs. I got x squared minus 18 equals negative 7x. So clearly we're going to have to do quadratic formula on this problem. Is it set up in the correct form? No, I got to get it in order. So I take negative 7x, move it over, that's a positive 7x. All right, I'll stop and let y'all do quadratic formula and then check both answers. Okay, what did y'all get in here when y'all typed that in your calculator? Okay, so that changes into 11. First answer is 2. Second answer is negative 9. All right, so looking at these answers, if I said, hey, one of these is going to get marked out, most of you would think the negative 9 is going to get marked out, but watch. When I plug negative 9 in here, negative times a negative makes it a positive there, so it works there. And it works there because when you square it, it turns it positive. The negative 9 works. How about 2? No, because look, negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. That doesn't work.
It would also be 2 on the other one too.
And when you, right here it would be negative 14. It wouldn't work there either. Okay, so it really doesn't matter what they start out being, positive or negative. It matters after you plug them in. All right, you guys should know enough about number 4 to set it up, mark out your logs, because they're all the same. All right, we did this Friday. It's got a plus sign right here. What does plus turn into? When it's plus, it becomes times. multiply. So it'll be 15 times x equals negative 105. All right, divide that out, get an answer, then check your answer to see if it works. Pat, what's negative 105 divided by 15? All right, so we got negative 7. Now, check that to see if it works. If I plug negative 7 in this spot right here, is there anything that's going to happen to it that's going to make it a positive number? No, it's going to stay negative 7. You can't have that. You mark it out. I don't have any answers left, so my answer is no solution. All right, number 5, we mark out all the logs. So number 4, I reminded you that if it's plus, it becomes times. What does it become if it's minus? Divide. So 75 divided by W equals 3 is 3 over 1. Okay, now why not write it over 1? I showed y'all this Friday. Yeah, go ahead and make it a fraction also. Now you can cross multiply and get your answer. Cross multiply, get your answer, check your answer to see if it works. So I times these two, I got 3W equals 75, I divide, I got 25. All right, let me show you something. Now, this one works, it's okay. Some kids first block, plug 25 in right here, and they said, well, it's a negative 25. Guys, a negative is only on the log, it does not go on that number there unless it's in parentheses. So it stays positive 25, so that answer does in fact work. Okay? All right, next one, number 6. Okay, so we learned this on Friday as well. We mark out the logs, because they're all the same. Anytime you got a number in front of the log, what does that number become? This number right here becomes the exponent for 512. You're going to see that the rest of the week. So it's A equals 512 to the 2/3 power. You just type that in your calculator, and that's your answer. So that one's really short. When y'all get an answer, let me know. James says 64. Check that, make sure that's good. Alex says it's good.
I would take that one.
Well, if you plug it in right here, nothing happens to it that makes it a negative 64, and as long as it stays positive, it's good. I'll try to make sure I let you know on the test which ones to check. All right, 7. They start getting a little bit harder, but we did this Friday as well. Mark out your logs on number 7. All right, we just said anytime you got plus, it's going to make it times. So we're going to times these two numbers. What goes in the first parenthesis? Very good, Hunter. That'd be 81 to the 1/4 power. Does everybody see how Hunter got that? So what goes in the second parenthesis? It'd be 125 to the 1/3. Now, to find your answer, you can just type it all in your calculator at one time. I'll give you a chance to do that. That one, so we're good. All right, let's keep going. I need to slow down. We good? All right, number 8. Mark your logs out. There, and there. Because they're all the same, you can mark them out. All right, Samari, what did we say a minute ago? If you got a plus sign in between them, what do you do with them when it's plus? Let me show you. All right, you got a plus sign in between them, you times them. Samari, you wait. So we times them, you get x squared. X times x is x squared. All right, then I got a minus. Alex, what do we do if it's got a minus sign? You divide. So we divide by 2 equals 50. Write it as 50 over 1. Now do your cross multiplying. Get your answers. Check them. We've got 4a minus 5 over a plus 3. Right side, I've got minus again, so it's going to be division again. All right, now remember, when you do the division, the minus goes away. All right, what goes on top? Yeah, 4 squared, because isn't that going to be your exponent? So 4 squared is 16. What goes on the bottom? 3 to the third, which is 27. All right, now what? Y'all. All right, guys, like I said, I've got a really nasty fraction. Is that what y'all got? Alex said no, Lydia said yeah. So I'm going to divide these two. I'm going to do negative 183 divided by negative 92. I got 1.99. All right, and that one does work. I plugged it in first block. We won't plug it in here. All right, last one for the day. Number 11 is a pretty easy one. I can just mark out my logs. All right, we got plus in the problem. Plus is going to make it times, right? So write that step down. A couple different ways you can do this one. You could distribute by 8 if you wanted to, and that's fine. I'm going to choose just to divide both sides by 8. That way is much faster. All right, we'll finish this stuff tomorrow.